to know about standard and non-standard varieties of English. First of all, we'll get to know about what are the standard variety of English. It is a variety which is supported by the government and which is supported by the institutions which we learn at schools. We are being taught standard varieties of English at schools, or we use it in formal environment. In official environment, we use formal or the standard variety of English, and there are some accents which are totally associated with those dialects. Received pronunciation for British English, and on the other hand general American for American accent. And there is another concept that accent is just about how you speak, how you utter sounds. On the other hand, dialect is about the norms, the values, the grammar and the syntactic structure, that how you use, and the cultural way of speaking something which is taken as a model. And there are a few examples that we'll discuss, and we'll get to know about the difference between formal, or standard and non-standard varieties of English. First of all, if I say how are you, it is the standardized way or standardized variety which is accepted as a standard, which is a model. If I say how's you, it's a dialect. It's the way of speaking in non-standard way. In informal environment, we speak this way. And another example is I haven't got any. You use I haven't got any because double negation is not allowed in standard variety. But you can say I haven't got nothing in non-standard way of speaking. I mean, double negation is allowed in it. On the other hand, there are a few examples and types of standard varieties: standard British English, American English, Australian English, which we can associate with the country or a nation, or it is not associated with the social class or something. It is associated with the whole setup of government or the nation or a country, and which is taken as a model there, which has official use. So it was enough for the standard variety. And there are few criterias how you make a variety standard. It is made by the political setups, by the government, willingness of the people accept it as a variety, and the things get better and people accept it, and it codified. I mean, dictionaries are made in the standard variety. Basically, the dictionaries, textbooks, grammar books are made in the standard varieties. It was okay for the standard, and now we'll move towards non-standard variety. It's opposite to the standard variety, which is not supported by the government, which is not taught at schools, which has no use in the formal environment, which is not used by the media. On the other hand, media uses the standard varieties. And it is basically associated with the social classes, which we say sociolect or sociolect. On the other hand, the regional dialect, which is associated with the region or the area. It has its own grammar, values and the syntactic structure some way. And there are a few examples, there are a few types and kinds of dialects or the non-standard varieties. If I say dialect, non-standard dialect or non-standard varieties, these are just the same: East and West, Midland English, Ulster English or Cockney English. So these are the varieties which are not accepted by the government or institutions. Now, here we are going to discuss about the top 10 patterns that are being used in non-standard varieties. There is 0B in non-standard varieties. I mean, sometimes we say how you doing. You eradicate or you remove the is or are or any kind of thing. I doing, how you doing. I mean, you erase B forms. And in the second one is you erase the S. Present simple S. You use S with he, she, it, and you don't use S with they, we, and they don't bother, and they just say he won't, because they don't have any time to analyze this thing again and again. And the zero dummy. I mean, what is dummy verb? Do. I mean, they don't say do you want a cup of tea, they say you want a cup of tea, or somehow they say you want a cup of tea. I mean, this is the way they speak. Subject verb agreement. This is something the subject should be agreeable to the verb or agree to the verb, that like you say he, you'll have to use does, but you use he don't want me or he don't think this way. I mean, subject and verb are not getting agreed with each other. Multiple negations, as I have already explained before, that two negations, I haven't got nothing, it's okay in the dialectual or in the dialects or the non-standard varieties of English. Or sometimes they use was with subject or any kind of subject is singular or plural. They say they was thinking. They don't say they were thinking. They don't bother about it. And there's this was with any kind of subject. Alternative pronouns, sometimes they have to use the subjective case, but they use objective cases. There is an example: me and him are going. this, and they don't use past. Sometimes they're talking about the things which has been gone, but they say, I think he is a good, there are a few examples when you get to know in movies or in dramas, and in any kind of informal environment they use this way. So this was all for today, and we will be there in with an interesting topics in future. Allah Hafiz, goodbye.